Welcome back to another episode of Have a Shift Day, our final episode for the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. The Stanley Cup has been awarded. The Florida Panthers are once again Stanley Cup champions, defeating the Edmonton Oilers in 6 games. And we are going to get into the series, but before you do, make sure you are subscribed to us on Spotify and YouTube, and you're following us on social media. We're looking to hopefully do 2 to 3 episodes throughout the summer. We haven't really planned that out yet, but we don't want to completely take a break. We'd like to get some insight on free agency, maybe try and get some guests on. We'll see what happens, but just make sure you're following us on social media to stay up to date so you know when a brand new episode is coming out this summer.
Jake, what were you going to say?
That's not important for what's going on right now. So I'll say it
okay. All right, well then we'll get into the finals. As we've said, the Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, the first team to go back-to-back since the Tampa Bay Lightning. And
what was the team to do it before the Lightning?
Yours truly, the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
Who's the only team to go back-to-back twice since 1990?
Oh, us.
Why did it take you guys so long to think?
I don't know. I don't know why that took me so long.
Okay.
I think I had to process what year you said, and then I got it. But let's get...
I had the ball up top, maybe a pump fake. That's why it took me so long.
Okay. Well, let's get into this series, the ending of the series.
Was that English?
No. I don't know what that was. But clearly we're not dialed right now.
Pop and pump fake.
Guys, you need to dig in right now. You need to dig in since the Oilers did not dig in.
That's going to work for us.
Well, the Oilers didn't dig in, so you guys have to dig in for them right now.
No, because McDavid will never be Crosby.
Oh my. Okay. Well, let's talk about the ending of the series. Last time we talked was after Game 3. Game 4 was Florida came out strong early, then they just fell asleep. Edmonton ends up tying it. They end up getting the lead. Florida ties it again. Edmonton wins in overtime. The last 2 games after that were just total, utter dominance by the Panthers, and we're gonna get into Game 6 specifically, since that is the big one, the cup clinching game. Heading into this game, the big question mark was again for the Oilers in net. Calvin Pickard started in Game 5, and then they opted to go back to Stuart Skinner for Game 6.
Why?
I don't know, but I also don't know if this was entirely his fault.
I mean, whenever a puck gets launched at you and you just stand there, let it hit off of you, and then
okay, yeah, that one was pretty bad.
That was like Timbit hockey here.
That one was pretty bad. The first 2, I think, were really defensive mistakes on the Oilers' part, because
the Oilers' defense looked like an AHL team out there.
Yeah, their defense just had...
I think we have to give credit to the Panthers here.
We're going to give credit to the Panthers, but
they made the Oilers look bad. There's a reason why the Oilers did not look good. It's because how good the Panthers are.
And going back to what Matthew Tkachuk had said earlier, that they are a team built to wear other teams down through a 7-game series, they really wore down the Oilers. They wore down their defense, and now they got another cup.
Yep.
Could have been over in less than 6 games easily.
It could have.
Yeah.
Made me sweat it a little less, but
that was very anticlimactic Stanley Cup final.
It was really good at the beginning. It was.
It started off great, and then it just fell off.
I mean, I still think we got some spectacular goals though in the last 2 games.
Yes. But
specifically from Marchand and Reinhart.
It just wasn't... I was expecting a better series.
Well, I want to talk about both sides of this. Both teams, really. Just little mini deep dives. So first off, the Conn Smythe winner was Sam Bennett. All of our predictions were wrong because we all said Bobrovsky. Oh, you weren't here when we did that, Jake.
No.
We all said
I would have said
Bobrovsky.
Bennett.
I mean, you would have been right,
There's
but
a chance.
well, my mind changed as the series went on. I think I want to say after Game 4, I was like, okay, if the Panthers win this, it's probably going to be Bennett. If the Oilers win this, it'll likely be Draisaitl. Panthers won. It was Bennett. No surprise. Led the league in 15 goals during the playoffs, 13 of which were road goals, most road goals in NHL history for the playoffs, which is insane. But huge playoff for him as he is about to head into unrestricted free agency.
Yeah.
He's going to re-sign with the Panthers.
You think?
Yeah.
I think he will.
I think he will too.
There's no tax in Florida. I think that's a big factor here.
Yeah.
I think Marchand. Why not? They can easily get a 3-peat. Like, I'm not even
I
joking.
mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
In the East.
I mean, it's crazy that we're talking about a 3-peat because at the beginning, all of us were kind of in agreement that Florida was too injured, too tired to even make it out of the first round. None of us had them making it out of the first round in our brackets, and they proved us wrong. So it's crazy. And I think, and Bennett is certainly a key piece in that, obviously. And moving more into another point I had, Brad Marchand, like you said, who also needs to resign, very key piece. Seth Jones was also pretty key in this too. Two amazing acquisitions by Bill Zito at the deadline for Florida.
Bill Zito is just a dog. Like,
He's
this guy is him.
Oh, is that why you're laughing? Because you changed what your name says to Panthers Suck below?
No, that's not why we're laughing.
Did I say
Bill
something?
Zito, man, this guy is he's different. I mean, you got to be bold. And, I mean, that's what he was. And you got to be able to fleece. He fleeced the Bruins. And you got to also be able to, like, be willing to move from younger players. I mean, like Spencer Knight, that wasn't probably an easy trade to let go of a guy like him. That's probably what's going to be your future goaltender. But the way Bobrovsky's playing, who knows? He maybe played at least 45.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah, I mean, that was something I thought about this morning because I think I realized that Devin Levi was a part of that Sam Reinhart trade, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And that was another future goalie that they had given up in the past. So, I mean, Bobrovsky's going to decline in play eventually. I'm not saying it's going to happen right away. I don't think it will, but that just happens to every player in their career. So, Florida's goaltending future is a question, but we're not really worried about that right now. They're not worried about that right now. They just want to keep winning now. What they've got is working for them.
The only team that needs to be worried about goaltending is the Oilers.
Yes, we will get into that. But I want to just keep talking about the Panthers right now. And
I know a great goalie who they could use.
Tristan Jarry's pretty.
Tristan Jarry?
Yeah.
How would we feel, though? You know, we'll talk about that in a minute because I do want to talk about Stuart Skinner later. But I want to... Going back, I mentioned Sam Reinhart. I want to go back to him. 4-goal game in Game 6, 2 of which were empty netters, but, you know, give credit where credit is due. Dominant performance by him.
Yeah. I turned it off after he got his hat trick.
You turned it off?
Yeah.
Why?
I wasn't interested in seeing them celebrate.
Why?
Because I wanted the Oilers to win.
I probably would have reluctantly kept it on if the Oilers did win because I'm like, you know, this is McDavid getting his cup. It's a historic moment.
I want to see McDavid win a cup. Really do.
Yeah, now that I've seen him lose back-to-back, I kind of feel a lot more... I feel a lot more bad for him. That was not grammatically correct. I feel really bad for him. So, yeah, I hope he gets it one day, but this was not the time. Again.
I think last year was their best shot to get it.
I agree.
I feel like this year.
Just getting to another point I had, the Panthers were better than they were last year. We've talked about that a lot too. They're all up and down their defense. I think that was a key thing. They gave no space to McDavid and Draisaitl in these last couple of games to make any sort of crazy, insane plays, give them a scoring opportunity. And that just... I don't know what I'm trying to say. Forsling, Ekblad, Jones, everyone shut them down. Forsling was mainly the one defending McDavid, and the crazy thing to me that I found out today was that he was a waiver claim by the Panthers. Oh, you did? I'm sorry. I forgot. I'm sorry. I didn't fully process that, but that is probably one of the best waiver claims ever.
You also said that last week after I said it.
I did?
Yeah.
I think you did, yeah.
Oh. Whoops.
They extended him too.
Yeah.
So he's locked up.
He's locked up.
Yeah, but the big question marks going into the offseason are Bennett, Marchand, and Ekblad for the Panthers. Do you guys think they somehow managed to keep all of them, or you think someone's gonna be gone? And if so, who?
I feel like, hot take, but I feel like Ekblad's going to be the one who goes.
I agree with that. I mean, they have locked up Forsling, and now Seth Jones is there for a couple years, and those guys are making a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
But I also think it comes down to fit. And if these guys like the fit in Florida, which clearly it looks like they do, and they like playing with that group, they got a great facility down there. I think it's brand new, somewhat new. So it's a great group. And I mean, you never really get the chance to accomplish a three-peat. So if you want to do that, here's your shot, and maybe take a little bit of a pay cut.
Yeah. I did see
I do agree.
tour. Oh, sorry.
I do agree with Ekblad. Ekblad is the one that I think would leave out of those three.
Yeah, I agree. I think Marchand, just play-wise, like his style of play was very fitting in that group, and I think he probably he sees himself playing well with those guys, and if he thinks if he stays, he's going to keep playing well, then he's going to stay.
Good for Marchand. Like that guy, he hasn't won it in a while, and they've been close with the Bruins, and it's cool to see a guy like that win the Stanley Cup.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then Bennett, I know they are just so incredibly set on keeping him, and I know that there's already been rumors swirling that he's going to get an 8x8 contract. So I think I agree with you that Ekblad is the most likely to go. We'll have to see, though, if both him and Marchand are willing to somehow take some sort of discount, if they're just so set on being a part of this group, keeping this group together as much as possible, considering what they did. But he's most likely the likeliest option to not stay. But we'll see what they can do.
How many Stanley Cups has Perry lost now?
5.
5. He's been in 5 of the last 6, and he's lost all 5.
That's tough.
That man is cursed.
It's a lot of hockey.
Beyond belief. That is a lot of hockey.
At least he's won one.
Yeah.
2007.
I know.
Hey,
I think
some guys don't win any.
It's true. The impressive thing with Perry too is that he was very good in this playoffs for the Oilers. Very key piece on their power play. Yeah, and every time the Oilers had a power play, I was yelling at the Panthers guys, you need to watch Perry in front of the net. And they just kept leaving him open. I'm like, guys, he's gonna get a rebound. He's right there. Stand in front of him. And sure enough, he ties it up in game 2. Didn't matter ultimately because Florida won. But he was one of I don't want to say one of those depth pieces that the Oilers had, because he was on the top line, but he was, a key piece for them. There were a lot of crazy stats with the Panthers in this playoffs. One of which was the amount of time that they were leading, which was 255 minutes and 49 seconds, which is the most time spent leading a Stanley Cup final in NHL history. They also had, I believe, 6 players with 20-plus points, which tied for most amount in history. And then another crazy thing was the injuries that they had. The not insane number, but the severity of these injuries. One of them was that Barkov had split his palm open in game 1.
Yeah, I saw that.
So there's a giant scar on there. Sam Reinhart, I believe, what was it? He tore his MCL, I think? Yeah, he had a grade 2 MCL sprain. He didn't tear it, my mistake. And then Matthew Tkachuk, the craziest of them all, I think. He was dealing with a sports hernia, and he tore his abductor off of the bone, and that was all on the same side. And man played the entire playoffs.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean...
Ow, indeed.
It looked like he wasn't the same player, and clearly we see why, but he did score in Game 6.
He scored the cup-winning...
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the cup-clinching goal since Edmonton actually scored eventually.
I think Reinhart was about to become the first player in NHL history to score back-to-back game-winning goals, right? Clinching game.
Yeah, if Podkolzin didn't get the goal for Edmonton, but I think that definitely means a lot to Tkachuk, because he was saying in his interview, like, this one meant so much more to me because of what I've been going through with injuries, and for him to get the eventual cup-clinching goal, I think that's going to be really special for him, even more with, his abductor not even being attached to his bone. Like, did he have surgery or something and no one told us? Or are they just like, oh, it'll, like, go back?
Probably shots.
I don't know how those all work. We don't have a doctor on this podcast.
Oh, it's a light. I thought something was on my laptop.
Okay.
We should get a doctor on this podcast.
We should get a doctor. I don't know how I do in that episode.
Jake, you look like a doctor.
I think that's
Dr. Jake?
I think that's a compliment, so I'll take that.
Oh, yeah, because, like, like those handsome doctors from, like, Grey's Anatomy and stuff? Could be that.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Of course.
I'm waiting to see. I'm pretty sure McDavid was dealing with an injury in the playoffs, but I'm
sure everyone's hurt in the play. If you're not hurt in the playoffs, you didn't play hard enough.
I'm pretty sure it might have been, I don't know, nothing's come out about it yet. Today might be their locker cleanout day, because it's been 2 days since that last game. I'm sure they'll probably have all their exit interviews.
Hurt, there's no point to say it. It just sounds like an excuse.
Oh, yeah. I mean, heck, we didn't know about Matthew Tkachuk's torn abductor.
Yeah.
So
what is an abductor?
I think it's like in your lower body.
Oh, I thought it was like in your shoulder.
No. I looked it up and it looked like it was in your lower body. I'm going to look it up again. Abductor. Yeah, that is in your... Oh, yeah. So that's in your lower body. So it seems like there's 2 different abductors. There's one like on your inner thigh and then one on your hip, like on the outside. So I don't know which one he tore.
Ow.
But also I'm pretty sure Keith Tkachuk had said that he was like his leg was broken. So I'm sure it was like the inner thigh one. So that's...
Ow.
Ow.
Yeah, that is a big ow. So everybody, don't tear your abductor off the bone. I'm sure that's what he did in Four Nations. That's probably... I wonder if he did both of those injuries in Four Nations, because if you remember, like, he was injured against the first game, in the first game against Canada, and then he came back for the gold medal game, but I think he ended up missing most of that game because he was injured again. And then he didn't play again in the playoffs.
He was out. Yeah.
Which maybe we'll get some insight into that with the face-off series since he's featured again. It'd be really interesting to see if we get that, but I don't know. We'll find out. I want to transition into the Oilers now, but I want to transition by reading this quote from Matthew Tkachuk that I think perfectly sums up how these finals played out. He had said, "Heart meets talent. Our team was a team. When things were getting hard for them, they looked to one guy. But our team, we did it collectively. And that's why we're lifting the Stanley Cup right now. Because we're a team and not a bunch of individuals."
Bars.
And it is bars, but I think that goes into a point that I wanted to make, that in the end of the series, I feel that the Oilers were relying too much on McDavid and Draisaitl. A big thing that helped them get to that point, get to the final, was their depth actually coming through. And
they ran through the West.
They did run through the West.
It wasn't that hard for them.
Back in the LA series, they were rolling four lines like it was nothing. Well, LA was kind of chasing the game towards the end, not rolling all of their lines, and that proved successful for them. They weren't really rolling those four lines these last two games. They were getting McDavid and Draisaitl out there together. I think they were sort of double shifting a few times. I want to say it was McDavid had 22 minutes of ice time in Game 6. So those guys were getting shut down, and I just don't think that they gave their depth much of a chance to try to control. I mean, they were getting shut down too, but it was Podkolzin that scored in Game 6, your only goal scorer.
Yeah, it's not going to win you a game on the road.
No.
But I also feel like I feel like this year the Oilers players, they more accepted the fact that they lost to a better team than last year. I feel like last year was more of a coin flip, and this year I think it's reality that they were clearly the better team, the Oilers, and their players, they know that. And it seems like that in the post-game presser. Just seeing little clips from the players, they acknowledge that, the Panthers just played an unbelievable series.
Yeah.
I agree.
Also, can I bring up something that I think we really need to touch on?
Yeah.
The only team to take the Florida Panthers to 7 games this year was
my gosh,
Toronto Maple Leafs. Which, I don't know about you guys, but I think that means the Leafs were the best team besides the Panthers in this postseason, using that math. So
I agree.
Besides, if the Panthers didn't exist, the Leafs would have won the cup, is what I'm saying.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I think that's what that means.
I think Edmonton's a better team than Toronto.
The Leafs went
the
to
Leafs built.
Panthers,
I think the Leafs built their team. 6, so. I think the Leafs built their team to beat the Panthers, to solely beat the Panthers.
And they didn't.
Well, but they got closer than anyone else did in these playoffs. So
I guess what Leaf fans, that makes you fall asleep at night.
That made me fall asleep at night. That's
perfect. Perfect.
All right, whatever gets you through the night, because clearly it's not Mitch Marner.
Bye-bye.
We'll get to that too. I was gonna say something about the Oilers. Now I can't remember. Oh my gosh, what was I gonna say?
They're not as good as the Leafs.
Well, no.
That McDavid's first flight to Toronto.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what I was gonna say now.
McDavid's gonna replace Marner on that first line.
Oh, I remember. The Oilers needed to learn how to score 5-on-5. That's what I was gonna say. Anytime they had a power play, they were very dangerous. But considering that Game 6, how nobody had a power play, they needed to have a better start. They started well, but then Reinhardt scored, and it was just all downhill from there. And they needed to be scoring 5-on-5, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about that.
That's all you can really say about that.
All you can really say is you guys need to learn how to score 5-on-5. You can't rely on your power play when all of your big guns are out. And then when you put your big guns out 5-on-5, you gotta do something.
McDavid's gonna look so good in a Penguins jersey.
Oh, good gracious. I don't know how I will...
Is he on his last year of his contract this year?
He will be heading into it, yes. So that is a big question mark.
I think he cannot end his career without a Stanley Cup, so I think he needs to consider all options.
I agree.
Penguins.
We are not built to win the Stanley Cup right now.
No, trust. McDavid, here's your first line next year. You have McDavid on the left, Crosby at center, and then you have Mitch Marner on the right, and that's your first line.
Yeah, I don't think we can afford that.
Yeah, we can. We just need to get rid of a few people like Malkin, Letang, Eric.
Well, Malkin's going to be gone after this year, so.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll get into that too. But like you said, McDavid is heading into his last year of his contract in Edmonton. Lots of question marks about if he's going to re-sign before the season starts, maybe during the season, get that done out of the way. That way it's not a big problem. What do you guys think he should do? Completely unbiased, not saying McDavid to Toronto or Pittsburgh, just for McDavid. If you were Connor McDavid and you're thinking right now, do I sign an extension? Do I wait it out? Or do I start considering possible future options? What are you doing?
Well, I think it started with Draisaitl. He got his extension, right?
Yeah.
How many years does he have left?
Didn't he just extend?
I think so. Yeah, so that's actually going to kick in next season, his extension. He's got an 8-year contract extension. Right. So Draisaitl is going to be there until 2023.
Okay.
And 2033, excuse me, 2033.
Those guys are really close, and I think they want to do it together. So I don't see McDavid kind of backstabbing Draisaitl like that, because I think they probably had conversations like, hey, if I extend, are you going to be here long term? I'm sure McDavid said yes. I don't see him going anywhere, because I think we have to remember when the Penguins won the Cup in 2009, it took a while for us to win again. And Malkin was a free agent, and he was exploring to go his own way and be the guy on the team, and he ended up staying. And 2 cups later, so I mean, it's hard to win the Stanley Cup. I don't think the Panthers can be this good forever. So I think the Oilers' time, I think their window's like 3 years, probably.
Yeah.
But they got to figure out their goaltending this offseason.
Agreed. Which is why I think they could use a nice Tristan Kelly.
Yeah, we can get into that. I agree. I saw a take on one podcast I was listening to yesterday. They had said they don't think that Stuart Skinner is going to be back in Edmonton next year, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, let me explain. I'm not saying that he's going to get traded because of the way he played. I think that this is going to be Stuart Skinner wanting out of Edmonton, because I don't know if you guys heard.
The other way around.
Maybe it'll be a mutual thing. They both agree that
both, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard, but Skinner's family was getting death threats from Oilers fans.
Yeah, that's Canadian hockey fans for you.
Yeah. And if, Marner, we saw with Marner, he doesn't want to play in that kind of market anymore because he's not getting the love from Toronto fans.
Yeah,
Skinner might not want to be in that as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure Skinner has been good at blocking the outside noise because, like, everyone's making memes about him online. Like, oh my gosh, you just lost to Stuart Skinner. You're so bad. Then he just goes and gets 2 shutouts or whatever. And, like, he's a streaky goalie. We understand that. But he might not want to be feeling that sort of, I don't want to say pressure, because I don't know if death threats are really pressure. He might not want to be receiving that sort of level of criticism. So he might want to go somewhere. Maybe he'll try and go somewhere where he feels comfortable, developing a little bit more, perfecting his game, where he could have a chance, or, develop as a backup even. Because the Oilers essentially have 2 backups. I don't really consider Skinner a solid number 1 just because of how inconsistent he is. And, like, I think we could probably say the same thing about Tristan Jarry because he was very inconsistent this year. There were many times where we didn't feel he was our number 1.
I think Skinner's better than Jarry.
I'm not saying that one is better than the other. I'm just comparing the situations.
That's fair.
So, that's just my take on Stuart Skinner right now.
I mean, I think Skinner's more of a starter than Jarry is, honestly.
I agree.
Okay. I mean, I can agree with that too. It's just, again, I was comparing situations a little bit.
I think it depends on what team Skinner goes to. Like, if he's going to go to a team like the Rangers, Islanders, Lightning, like, obviously, like, those type of teams, yeah, he's going to be the backup, like, but if he goes to a team like, maybe like a Detroit, like an Anaheim, a San Jose, a Utah, like, he'll be the starter there.
I think Detroit or Utah would be a good fit for him.
It really just depends on team, I think.
Are there any major free agent goalies this summer? I don't think so.
I don't know.
This would be a really good time to have Cap Friendly back. Just saying.
That's how Capitals, fairly.
Thank you, Washington Capitals, for getting rid of Cap Friendly.
I wouldn't have worked for them because they freaking won the President's Trophy there.
No, they didn't. That was the Jets.
I keep forgetting how the Jets beat them.
The Jets won the President's Trophy. Washington won the President's Trophy when we won the Stanley Cup.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
Who were free agents this year?
We got Nick.
A UFA that the Oilers also have to worry about is Evan Bouchard and what kind of contract he's going to get.
Guys, I have the goalies here.
Okay.
Ville Husso, Jake Allen, Vitek Vanacek, Alexander Georgiev, Anton Forsberg, Dan Vladar, Ilya Samsonov.
I ain't getting sobbed there.
Samsonov?
David Uridick, Alex Lyon, and Chris Drieger.
Samsonov might be a target for the Oilers.
You're a little older.
Well, that seems to... The Oilers are the second oldest team in the league, if you didn't know that. Right behind yours truly.
So, long story short, the only real starter here was Alex Georgiev.
It's Georgiev.
It's tomato.
Georgiev?
Marchand.
I didn't realize that Cody Ceci played 85 games last year.
Oh, wow. Is he also a UFA?
Yes.
He was a great Penguin.
I know. I was sad when we got rid of him. He played well for us. Bring him back!
Dude, all for real. Dude, there's like no good free agents this year either.
Yeah, free agency might be a little less exciting than the trade deadline.
Grizzly got 40 points for us last year.
Yeah, bro. He was a dog in the power play, I think.
Oh, yeah, he's a UFA.
He had a 1 goal and 39 assists.
That's crazy.
That's an absolutely absurd stat line. What is happening? Oh, a UFA just got taken off the board.
Like, literally right now?
Yes.
Who?
Matt Duchene.
Did he re-sign with Dallas?
He just did right now.
Breaking news! Tell us the details, Nick.
I just looked down at my phone and I'm like, oh, okay.
Tell us the details. I can't look at my phone right now. I'm using it for my microphone, so if I turn...
He has signed a 4-year deal worth $4.5 million.
4 years, wow.
Huh. Okay.
He had 30 goals and 82 points in 82 games last year.
That's pretty good. He's definitely a key piece on that Dallas team that didn't do anything against Edmonton. That's not the point. It's okay. Maybe next year, guys. Maybe without Pete DeBoer, everything's going to be great, fine, and dandy in Dallas.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right. Let's wrap things up with the Stanley Cup final. Any final thoughts you guys have about either team? Any specific players? The crazy celebrations we've seen so far already from Florida. They were living it up at Elbow Room yesterday.
Enjoy your time because the Penguins are coming for your trophy next year.
Congratulations on a fantastic year. I mean, clearly the best team. I picked them to lose in the first round. Don't know why. But
we all did. Oh, that's bad. Continue. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, unbelievable squad. They'll probably be back next year.
My final thought is that I was wrong on many accounts. I predicted the Oilers as my preseason cup pick. And once I thought about that, once we got to the final, I was like, oh my gosh, maybe I'll actually be right in some sense. No, I was wrong. And also I said on this podcast, and I believe on Pioneer Sideline, that the cup winner was going to come out of the West this year. And boy, was I wrong. But no, I'm happy to be wrong. Happy to be wrong right now. And happy that this didn't go to 7 games. So, yay!
I wanted it to go 7.
Me too.
Okay, I have something I'm doing tomorrow, so I wouldn't be able to watch Game 7. So.
Well, that was your fault for getting tickets to a concert on the day of Game 7.
I can't predict. Okay, I got the tickets in February. I can't predict the Stanley Cup Finals schedule in February.
Well, you should have. Skill issue.
Liability.
Absolute liability.
Well, we're not going to a Game 7, so I win. We're fine. Moving on.
Panthers won.
Okay, yes, Panthers won, but I also won too. No trivia again this week because, again, we only have 3 co-hosts. Ryan is currently on a trip. I don't... Yeah. I asked him for a statement. I don't think he's able to send us one, which is okay. Hopefully he is enjoying his time up in Detroit.
4-1-2 hockey.
I know. He's starting to, what is he doing? He's doing his thing. You guys go follow 412 Hockey. Ryan's got a little hockey. He's got his own hockey account going.
412 Hockey. That's where it's at.
All right. Let's move on to some additional news that we have. We'll get through it fast because Nick's got to get going soon. Some more Penguins coaching news that we have. Nick Bonino is joining the Penguins coaching staff.
What is... I thought it was fake when I saw this.
No, it's real.
I know.
It's real. You said it way too many times. That's how I told my mom, who was joining the coaching staff.
I don't know.
Greatest goal calls ever.
I mean, does he have any coaching experience?
No.
Would he be the Penguins coach if he never won the Cup with us? Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think we can really criticize this yet because he just retired. He's just stepping into this new role. So let's see how he does. I think it's cool that we're going to have someone from a key piece from our back-to-back run part of the staff. But
they gotta get out of the good old days. That's the issue.
Bold coach.
Hey, we don't. Maybe he's gonna actually be a really good assistant coach. We don't know. Let's just give him a chance. See how he does.
Staff will win.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
2 of our coaches are bald so far. Will the next one also be bald?
Bring it back,
how much hair does Phil Kessel have?
He has some like on the sides, so I think like up here is pretty.
Gonna say get him on there too. No, I don't think Phil Kessel would be a super great coach.
No, he would. He's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion.
Isn't he technically a 3-time? Because wasn't he on Vegas's roster 2 years ago?
He is a 3-time. I should have known that.
Going back to back.
Come on, where's Phil? I need a picture of Phil.
Phil the Thrill.
Philly Goat.
Phil.
I mean, his hairline's pretty receding. I don't know if that. He's not really bald though.
I don't know. I don't know if I have the authority to say what is bald or not.
Yeah, he's still the GOAT though.
Okay.
He's still the hockey player of all time.
Another bit of Pittsburgh news. We've mentioned it briefly. This is going to be Malkin's last year in Pittsburgh. So it'll be an emotional end. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say.
I mean, it's a good run. Like,
it's a good run.
Oh,
it's gonna be sad.
Are you gonna cry?
Maybe.
It's like that was. I mean, back in his heyday, like he was a top 5 player in the league. I think people forget that.
Yeah, they do. And whenever they were naming the NHL 100, they forgot that.
Yeah. I think people in Pittsburgh have always been way too hard on him. I think he's never gotten the respect he deserves.
Yeah.
In 2009, we don't win that cup without him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think we win any cups without him.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like he was a big factor in 16, 17. Like he's just a stud. Like 2011 of Evgeny Malkin.
When Crosby got hurt with his concussion, he just took over.
Took over the league. Yeah. It's sad, but
it hasn't like set in yet, so like I'm not like sad about it yet.
It's gonna set in like once we get towards the end of the season. You're like, oh my gosh, Gino's almost done. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna retire after this year. I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
He'll just go back to the KHL.
That's what I think.
Yeah, but it's gonna be an emotional season for sure.
You can tell watching him play, like he's obviously lost his step. That's he's like almost 40 years old. Like let's be real.
And I'm sure injuries have factored into that too.
He's had a lot of
a
lot of
your
rough
body's
injuries.
gonna break down.
I think
him and Ovechkin's last season.
Is that actually confirmed? Because I know it was like an email that got sent out, and then people were like, "That's not true."
One of those things where it's gonna be one of those things where Washington's like, "Oh no, it's not true," because they want to announce it themselves.
Yeah.
Like, his girlfriend.
I mean, man's just gotta.
His girlfriend said in an interview like he's not.
You mean his wife?
Yeah. His wife said in the interview that he's not gonna re-sign with the Caps. He's probably gonna go back to Russia.
Too great.
This league, so last year is more than likely gonna be Malkin and Ovechkin's last seasons.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how I can handle this. Even though Ovi and the Caps have not been my favorite for years. I'll just be like, no, wait, I don't know a league without Ovechkin. No. I don't know. We're not going to start crying on this podcast right now. Next season hasn't started yet, guys. Moving on.
Jake, are you gonna cry on Malkin's last game?
Me?
Me?
Probably. It's a high possibility. I don't usually cry for sports or even movies, but I probably will.
I'll be crying for Crosby for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Crosby's gonna. Oh, I don't even want to think about that.
I'm gonna be bawling my eyes out.
What if he gets
No, guys,
traded?
I don't want to think about this right now. We need to move on. We need to move on.
What if he gets traded mid-season?
Let's stop.
No, Crosby.
Let's stop talking
What
about
if
that.
McKinnon convinces him to go to the Avs, and he absolutely.
I would like to.
Well, then I'm gonna be a full-blown Avs fan.
I want to see him go get another cup.
I would actually bawl.
I would bawl my eyes out, but then I would become a full-blown Avs fan.
As soon as I get the text that he goes to the
I'd still be a
Avs,
fan.
I would sprint down the street to the arena and just.
You're like, no, don't leave.
Yeah.
Okay, let's not think about that possibility or that timeline. Let's move on to my next note that I have. The preliminary rosters for the Olympic teams got announced. So for 6 players, very exciting. I should probably pull those up because I don't have those right in front of me. Olympic rosters.
How many teams announced them? Just
all of them. There are 12 countries participating. Allow me to read you the countries that we have. We've got the United States, hang on, I don't have them in front of me. Actually, no, I'm going to do it from memory. US, Canada, Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Latvia, Czechia, Slovakia, Italy, France, Switzerland, Germany. I did it. Yay! Thank you. So on Team USA, we've got both of the Kachucks, Quinn Hughes, Charlie McAvoy, Jack Eichel, and Austin Matthews. I'm probably not going to read all of these. I'm going to read most of these, but I'm just going to read the standouts because there's literally one NHL player from France named. Canada, we've got Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Connor McDavid, Braden Point, and Mr. 4-goal game Sam Reinhart. Sweden.
Not too shabby.
They're going to add more, so it's just going to get better. Sweden, we've got Rasmus Dahlin, Victor Hedman, Adrian Kempe, Gabriel Landeskog, William Nylander, and Lucas Raymond. Not Slovakia. I wanted to do Finland next. Where'd Finland go? Okay. I'm going to do Czechia next because the tab for Finland is, not there. Finland. We've got Lucas Dostal, Radko Gudas. Wait, no, this is Finland. Czechia. Gosh. Czechia is Lucas Dostal, Radko Gudas. My goodness. Marty Necas, Andre Palat, David Pastrnak, and Pavel Zacha. There's Finland. They decided to come back. Sebastian Aho, Alexander Barkov, Miro Heiskanen, Esa Lindell, Mikko Rantanen, UC Saros. There are a lot more Latvians in the NHL than I thought. Former Penguin Teddy Bluger is playing for the Latvian team. And I'll finish off with Slovakia. We got Eric Cernak, Martin Ferivari, Simon Nemec, Martin Pospisil, I don't know, Yuri Slavkovsky, and Tomas Tatar. Tatar. You know what? I'll do Germany too. I'll do Germany because there's some pretty good names on Germany. Leon Draisaitl, Philip Grubauer, Lucas Reichel, Moritz Seider, Nico Sturm, and Tim Stutzla.
So I guess JJ Patoka just fell off the face of the earth.
I guess so.
Where is he from?
Germany.
Oh, I'm sure he'll get named.
Boy, I hope he gets named.
Well, there aren't a lot of German players in the NHL, so.
I mean, I don't really think that Lucas Reichel is any way, shape, or form better than he is.
I agree.
The schedules also got announced for Olympic hockey. I'm not going to go over those, but thankfully, I don't think I have to wake up at 6 a.m. to watch any hockey games. So, any USA games at least, which is good. And I get to watch women's hockey on my birthday in the morning. Yay!
When's your birthday?
Hopefully February 7th.
I knew it was February. I'm smart.
So hopefully U.S. women can get me a win for my birthday. It'll be Hillary Knight's last Olympics. She's already announced that. Women's rosters have yet to be announced, but I'm sure they're going to be fairly similar to the World Championship rosters. But I'm so excited for the Olympics next year, guys. Like, I know it's definitely not going to be at the exact same level as Four Nations because IIHF rules are different than NHL rules, but it's going to be really fun to see, really cool to see a lot of players who haven't been to the Olympics before, which will be like the majority of these rosters because the only people I can think of are Crosby and Marchand, which I know he hasn't been named yet, but it's very likely that he's going to get named to that team.
After that performance, yeah.
Yeah. So super excited to have NHL players back in the Olympics, and hopefully they can fully keep this up over the next forever. And, let's hope U.S. brings home the gold this time.
Over the next forever.
Over the next forever. No more issues with the IOC or IIHF. No, we're done with that. We're going to have fun. We're going to let NHL players go to the Olympics. Make it great. Make your product great. Woohoo. 2 more things. No, 3. Ryan Donato signed a 4-year contract extension with the Blackhawks yesterday.
Go Hawks.
Good key piece to keep for them. And then Eric Holla got traded to the Predators yesterday as well from New Jersey. And then the final note I have, we'll have to wrap this up quick, is that we said before, Mitch Marner is officially not returning to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Bye.
Not a big surprise. Nick, our resident Leafs fan, can you give us some thoughts, insight, anything? Oh, okay. Wow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's rude.
Trade him. Get something back.
Trade him.
It's a little too late for that.
Get like a third, even if it was like a 3rd round pick, just get something back for him.
You tried, you declined.
That's right, he's going to your city. He's going to your city, buddy.
Wait, think?
Did you guys actually hear about that? The 3-team trade that almost happened?
Yeah.
I heard about it. I don't remember what the details were. Can you tell me again?
Marner would have went to Vegas. Ranson would have went to
That's right.
Toronto. And some insane haul would have went to Carolina.
That's right.
Can you imagine? We almost got Mika. Oh, the Leafs could have gotten Mika Antonin.
Sometimes I really wish I could just see a timeline of what would happen if this trade did go through. But all we could do is predict.
There's so many of those.
They have that whole animated What If series for Marvel. Make a whole What If series for the NHL. That's not going to happen, but that'd be fun. Just for fun. Jake froze.
No, he didn't.
I'm here.
Oh. He froze for me.
No?
I don't know.
Oh. Well, that's all we got today. Season's over. There's no hockey for over 100 days. It's gonna suck.
Let's go Bucks.
NASCAR and the Bucks.
Yeah, it's okay. We need a good break. It's too long of a break, but it's fine.
It's not really a break until you get to July, 5th.
Yeah, and then like free agency dies down, and you're just like, okay, I'm ready. Let's get this going.
Yeah.
So
August, you're like,
yeah, we're gonna try and do a free agency episode somewhere after July 1st. We have not discussed a day yet. We just need to get through the playoffs, and I'm really, really happy that we were able to continue our playoff coverage. I definitely miss being in the studio, but this really worked out well. And I had a lot of fun covering the playoffs.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was oh my gosh, no, we don't have time for it. If you guys can think of this real quick, I did have a Pucks and Deep. Just one more before the off season. Favorite moment from the playoffs? It can be any moment.
Caps Habs brawl. Were you speeding Ottawa?
I'm gonna say mine while Jake thinks. Landeskog's returning and getting his first goal back in like over 3 years.
I don't even think I really have one.
Donnie Boy.
Favorite moment? Probably the Capitals getting out of the first round.
Okay.
You sell out. You absolute sellout.
All right, well, I'm going to go.
Yeah, Nick's got to go. We've all got to go. Thanks so much for watching and following along with us through the playoffs. If you just found us here at the very end, make sure you subscribe and you follow us on social media as well at haveashift.a on Instagram, TikTok, and X. We're going to be back in full force for the regular season. Going to try and get some episodes out over the summer about free agency. We just have a guest or two. We'll see what we've got, but make sure you're following us so you know when we're going to have a new episode out. And again, if you are new to us during the playoffs, we cover the Pittsburgh Penguins. We are a Pittsburgh Penguins podcast, but we do also discuss other NHL topics. We are glad to have you as a listener, a watcher, fan of the podcast. And we're excited to be back for the regular season when that comes around. But in the meantime, Panthers are the champs. It's time for the off season. Draft's coming up, free agency's coming up. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Let's go, Pens.
Go, Pens.